Rain poured down in the bustling city that morning, splashing against the windows of the tall glass building that housed one of the most prestigious companies in town. Inside, people rushed about with folders, resumes, and anxious faces, all waiting for their turn to meet the famous CEO, Alexander Gray, known for being brilliant, a broken bar and cold. But amidst the crowd of adults sat a small figure on a chair too big for her, a little girl, no older than 8, clutching a soaked pink backpack and a folded piece of paper in her tiny hands. She looked out of place, her shoes muddy, her braids slightly messy, her eyes tired but determined. When the receptionist bent down and asked softly, "Sweetheart, are you lost?" The girl shook her head and said quietly, "No, ma'am, I'm here for the interview. My mom is sick, a broken bar, so I came instead." The room went silent. Every head turned. The receptionist blinked, unsure how to respond. "You're broken bar here for the interview." The little girl nodded seriously. "Yes, Mommy said she wanted this job really bad, but she got sick last night, and she cried because she said she'd lose the chance. I don't want her to cry again, so I came." Security guards were called, confused about what to do, but before they could escort her out, a deep voice spoke from the hallway, a calm, curious, and powerful. "Let her in." It was Alexander Gray himself. The Millionaire CEO, always impeccably dressed in a charcoal suit, now stood in front of the little girl, his sharp blue eyes softened by curiosity. "You came for your mother's interview?" he asked, kneeling slightly so they were at eye level. "Yes, sir," she whispered. "She really needs this job. She's the smartest and kindest person in the world. She said if she gets it, she'll buy me a big cake for my birthday. But a broken bar, she couldn't come because she can't even stand up today." Alexander studied her for a long moment, something stirring inside him that he hadn't felt in years. He motioned her to follow him into his office. The entire staff watched in silence as the little girl, with her pink backpack bouncing against her back, walked into the CEO's office, a place where even senior managers entered trembling. Inside, she sat on the edge of a leather chair, her feet dangling above the floor. Alexander leaned back and asked gently, "What's your name?" "Lily," she said. "And what does your mom do?" "She's a teacher," Lily replied proudly, "but she lost her job last year because the school had too many teachers. Since then, she's been working different jobs. She's tired all the time, but she never complains. She said this job could change our life." Alexander's heart tightened. Years ago, he too had watched his mother struggle, taking cleaning jobs and working late into the night just to keep him in school. He remembered how it felt to see someone you love suffer silently. "Do you know what this company does?" he asked softly. Lily thought for a moment, then said, "You help people make dreams come true." "Mommy said so. She said her company helps people grow their business, and she said if she could work here, she'd finally be proud of herself again." Her words hit deeper than any boardroom pitch he'd ever heard. There was sincerity, love, and sacrifice in every syllable. Alexander smiled faintly. "You know, Lily, you're quite brave. Most grown-ups wouldn't dare to do what you just did today." She looked down shyly. "Mommy says a broken bar when you love someone, you should try, even if you're scared." He nodded slowly, lost for a moment in thought. Then he stood up and said, "Lily, would you like to show me what's in your backpack?" She opened it and pulled out a small lunchbox. "I brought cookies. Mommy baked them last night for your interview," she said. "Giving something sweet makes people smile." Alexander chuckled softly at the first genuine laugh his staff had heard in months. He took a cookie, tasted it, and then turned serious. "They're delicious. Your mom is quite talented." Then, in an unexpected move, he called his secretary and said, "Get me Mrs. Evans' file, and send a doctor to this address immediately." He handed Lily's mother's home address to his assistant, which Lily had written neatly on a crumpled note. 2 hours later, when Lily returned home in a company car, she found a doctor tending to her mother, who was weak but awake, and beside her stood Alexander Gray himself. Her mother, Grace Evans, tried to sit up, shocked and embarrassed. "Mr. Gray, I broken bar. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." He raised a hand gently. "You have nothing to apologize for, "Mrs. Evans, your daughter is a broken bar remarkable. She told me about you, and I can see she learned her strength from the best." Grace's eyes filled with tears. "She just wanted to help a broken bar. I was afraid she'd done something wrong." Alexander smiled softly. "She did everything right, and so did you. You're hired today not out of pity, but because any mother who raises a child this brave deserves a chance." Grace broke down in tears, covering her mouth as Lily ran into her arms. Alexander looked away for a moment, his jaw tightening as he remembered his own mother's face, weary but proud. A few months later, Grace became one of the company's best employees. Her ideas helped the company grow, and she found herself not just surviving but finally living. Lily would visit the office sometimes, where Alexander always had a jar of cookies waiting on his desk. One day, as Grace was about to leave, Alexander stopped her and said quietly, "You know, that day your daughter came into my office a broken bar. She reminded me of something I'd forgotten. That success means nothing if you lose your heart along the way." Grace smiled warmly, and she reminded me that sometimes, even the smallest act of courage can change everything. As they both looked out of the window Lily running in the company garden below they realized that life had a strange way of connecting hearts at the right time. Moral: sometimes, hope walks in on the smallest feet. And when love drives courage, even the most powerful hearts can learn to feel again.